Hey everyone, this is Allie Krieger, and this is the Second Win Podcast.
I want to talk about the 2015 and the 2019 run.
The champions of the world.
You can't even put it into words, the emotion, because you work your entire life to be on the World Cup team and to win. Just every game mattered.
Right.
And it was every game you felt like I worked my entire life, every single day that I was out on the field for this game. At the end of the day, I signed up to play football, right? I signed up to play soccer. You don't always sign up for all of the other things that come along with it. You know, you start building your brand and you start getting noticed and becoming a public figure, and then all these other responsibilities come into play. I still want to be that kind, hardworking, empathetic, compassionate human being.
What's up, Second Win family? Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of the Second Win Podcast. We just want to say, first off and foremost, Happy New Year. Hopefully everyone had a great holidays. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe as we still try to build this platform. We appreciate everything and all the love that you guys do. Support us on all of our socials. With that being said, again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the episode.
Second Win family, what's good, man? Welcome to another episode of the Second Win Podcast. I am Gio here with my partner in crime.
Already back again.
Mr. I thought you were going to leave me hanging.
I wasn't going to leave you hanging. You got the messed up finger, though.
I was about to
You
be
do.
pissed.
It's all good.
I want to wish you guys a happy new year, man. We took a break off for the holidays. We think it's important to, take time with your family. These times are important. You never know, when you're not going to be able to see your family again. So we want to take some time to be with our family, give you time to be with your family. But we're back with another fire guest, someone who has caught a lot of second wins in her life. Olympian, World Cup champion, two-time World Cup champion, the great Allie Krieger is on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Yay! Hi, everyone.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
Before anything, I want to give you your flowers because the career that you had was amazing. Like, to play at the level that you played at for so long, people don't understand like the meticulous preparation that goes into that, taking care of your body, like your mental, all that type of stuff. So the question that we like to ask before anything is a simple question, but I think it's important because athletes don't get asked this enough. How are you feeling? How's your body? How's your mental? How are you?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you for having me. This is so exciting, and I'm so happy to be here with both of you. 17 years.
Yeah,
it feels like it is a long time. Like, I've been playing since I was like 5-6 years old. Damn. Professionally 17, obviously, and then overall probably like 33 years. So it's just like my body was ready like for a rest, and I'm like out there chasing like 20-year-olds around. I'm like, what am I? I'm like, what am I doing?
Right.
I mean, they're not running past me yet, but it was time, and it was such a great way to end. Obviously, winning a championship, so every athlete's dream, and so that was like, also, even though I made my announcement at the beginning of the year, it just felt like the right time. I want to prioritize spending time with my kids, and I want to move on to the next phase. And I think that it just felt right. And I know a lot of athletes say that you just feel it and you just know. And I think at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, I think this is it. I want to give it one more chance to win, and I'm going to give it everything, and then we'll see what happens. So I just knew at the beginning of the year.
How much different is it now? Like, just the short time that you've been retired, like just your natural life, like your day in, day out life. Like, what different things do you do? How do you feel? Like, is it like, what do I do now?
Yeah, I do, because it's hard as an athlete because you're so structured and you have, a schedule every day. You have a plan. Someone's telling you what to do, how to do it, what to eat, where to go, how to sleep and recover. It's like, you just have to get up and you show up, and then everything else is kind of laid out for you.
It's like you're a robot.
Right. And so you don't, you rarely make your own decisions at work. Right. And it's a 24-hour, job being an athlete. Like, you have to then, after you train, you have to recover, and you have to take care of your body, and you have to care about what you eat, and because what you put in your body is going to help you perform well. So it's like, or not.
Yeah.
So you have to like pay attention to that. So right now, not having a schedule, it kind of feels like just my normal off season. And I think February 1st will be, you know, when the team meets back up for preseason, and that I think is when it's going to hit like, oh shit, I don't have to go down to Florida. Like I'm not going to camp, you know? So I think that's when it's going to hit, but it's weird already not having a schedule and someone telling me what to do, where to go. So now I have to like kind of reprogram myself into maybe, I don't know, prioritizing my own schedule and figuring that out.
So for you, since you closed that door and were comfortable closing that door, are you like in the stage now of like trying to find the next thing you're passionate about? Or are you just trying to take time to just do maybe some things you weren't able to do before?
Yeah, both. I think I'm really excited to, you know, do things that I wasn't able to, you know, do before, like even go like on a skiing trip or like, you know, a snowboarding trip, or go hang out with my friends and family whenever I want. It's like now, you know, you sacrifice so much, which I don't always like to say sacrifice because it's a choice, right? It's a choice that you make, and I love what I do, so I'm choosing what I love. But it doesn't mean that I don't get upset not spending time with my friends and family. So now it's like, hey, can you come to this event or that birthday party, or you know, I don't know, just any holiday gathering. It's like, yeah, I actually can make it.
Yeah, I can do that
like,
now.
You know, save me a seat. So that's exciting. And then I started to kind of work towards what I wanted to do after soccer was done, because I always knew it wasn't going to last forever, and I wanted to get a head start. I think a few years ago, just in case, because like being an athlete's such a risk anyway, and you never know when it's going to be your last game. So I needed to kind of get on that, you know, a few years ago to get ahead of it. So now I'm really fortunate enough to be able to kind of jump into hopefully, you know, broadcasting, and that's what it looks like now.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So I'm taking a little break, and then I kind of have that on the back burner.
Okay. Well, that's super exciting. Well, first, let's take it back to the beginning. Okay. Right. So it's kind of like you were almost predestined to play soccer. You know, your dad played professional soccer, also was one of your coaches. Talk about your journey, you know, when you first started playing soccer and how that evolved for you at such a young age.
Yeah, so like you said, my dad was a coach, and my mom also was very athletic. They're both educators, PE teachers, and you know, driver's ed as well. They both taught for like over 40 years. So I was like, you know, kind of implement that, like that athletic lifestyle was just like right from the get. So that was implemented like right when I was really young. Not that they ever forced me to do anything, but they were, you know, that kind of inspired me, the way that they operated and the way that they were in the athletic world. It just kind of gave me a jump start into it. And my brother, we're only 13 months apart, and he's older, and he, you know, would always be, I don't know, playing at sports, and I always wanted to try to like challenge him and beat him and like chase him around and just follow him. So like I think that all of that into one kind of was a perfect storm for me to, you know, start on this athletic journey.
That's where you got your competitive edge from?
I did. I was like, yo, let's go out in the front yard. Like I'm ready to like
even the voice
beat you.
tell like she locked in.
Dog.
Yeah, and like I don't know, anything. I was so competitive, and I think that was just like a drive in me. Like you're just born with that. I don't know if it can be taught, but it's just like I had this motivation to just want to like, I don't know, win at everything.
Was it just soccer? Did you want to
even like ping pong? Really? I was like, let's go. You know,
bowling.
I was like, anything. I was like,
I love that.
like tag out, you know, manhunt out in the yard. You know, like whatever we would play.
They
don't play manhunt.
No, not anymore. I mean, they're missing out, but anything like that. I was like, let's go. But yeah, my parents really started that out for me because they were just involved with athletics from the very beginning.
Oh, that's amazing.
I just need to take a moment to recognize the hair and the makeup because you
definitely
are
came
snapping. The glam team.
Absolutely.
This ain't part of the vibe, but it's just my own examination. I'm like, you doing it today. You doing it today.
Yeah, you doing it today. Yeah, you doing your thing. Don't mind us.
Thank you.
Don't mind us.
Stop.
At what point do you realize like, okay, I'm really good. Like I'm not just all right. Like I could be one of the best in the world. Like what point did you realize that?
I think it was in high school when I was I don't know. I would go and train with like the boys teams. My dad was the boys coach at the high school, and I would go in the winter and like train with them. And I always tried to put myself in a situation where players were better than me, so I'd be uncomfortable, and then I would like grow and get better and learn. Yeah, and I try to do that with a lot of different categories in my life. But I was always wanting to just continue to get better every single day, try to work on little things. And I knew the bigger things would take care of themselves. So I really focused on, showing up and like being that like player for my team that everyone could lean on and being a leader and all the things at such a young age. But then the skill kind of came along with it too. I was like, oh, maybe I am good at this. Like I'm scoring goals and I'm like setting people up and people are making me look good. Like I also need to give credit to a lot of my teammates growing up, because if they weren't challenging me, I never would have been the player I am. You play with better players, they set you up for success. And I think in high school when I got Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year, I don't know if I'm allowed to say Gatorade, but
you
on here. Okay. I got Virginia Gatorade State Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And not nationally, but just for my state. And I was like, okay, this is something. Like, is that like you start getting accolades, right?
Big.
And you're like, okay,
big.
that's like one on the list. And my club team was really good. We won state championships, we won regionals, and so I knew I was like, good. Decent.
Yeah.
And I'm so then I started getting letters from colleges and from, playing club tournaments and things. And then, opening all the letters, and they just kept coming in. And I was like, okay, maybe like this can be a thing.
Maybe I'm all right.
Yeah. So then like Penn State came about and like that was a decision. And so it was between Wake Forest and Penn State.
Ooh.
Just so different from each other, like because Southern school, Northern school, but also like Wake Forest only had like 7,000 kids, and then Penn State was like what at the time 41,000, I think. But then just that making that jump, I was like, okay, well this can be a thing. Like I'm going to college to play soccer, like
Absolutely.
That's sick.
Yeah,
like,
that's dope.
Yeah, I think that was when I started to recognize I could continue to get to the next level, and then college it just took off. Freshman year.
And as you just put, you were getting all those offers and you ended up going to Penn State. I saw something about how your mom, she would hide some of the Midwest letters because she didn't want you to, she was like, I'm not driving that far. I'm not driving that far.
Research.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Come on, yeah. She would hide the letters because she didn't want to drive that far. So you end up going to Penn State. And obviously you have a stellar career, become freshman All-American and also two-time All-American. Can you talk about the work and preparation that went to being that type of player? Because Penn State, like, it's a great school.
Yeah.
High competition, obviously. Like, talk about the preparation and work that you put in to be the best player you could be while you were there.
Yeah. Thank you for knowing those
of course.
statistics and accolades of you. It was a huge jump from club in high school. I was like, whoa, these women are like so much fitter, faster, stronger than me. Like, how am I going to keep up? But then once again, I was like, okay, they're better. I just need to like compete, roll my sleeves up, get after it, and then, just fight and claw and scratch, because I want to play here. I want to be great. I want to be elite, and I want to win. And ultimately, that's, why you play Division I sports. And I knew I had to like show up because they offered me a scholarship to be there to actually like improve the team. So I said, okay, well, my job's cut out for me. Like I gotta get after it. Because the next person is just waiting in line. So you have fire. You have, as you have fire underneath of you every day, and you have to show up and show out, or you're gonna be on the bench. So
Absolutely.
like they're gonna be like, it's nonites. So I knew I had to just show up and make my mark. And I did. I was like, bring it. And even though they were, some of them were fitter, faster, I was like, I'm going to be even better than you. And I'm going to put you, fire underneath of you. And I'm going to make it difficult for the coaches to ignore me.
Absolutely.
And
oh yeah, I love that.
So I just like,
you a dog.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Yeah.
So then I just showed up and I was like, listen, I'm a freshman, but I know how good I can be. And I know I can make this team successful. And I want to win Big Ten championships. I want to get to the Final Four.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was just ready to go. So any chance I got, any opportunity I got, I tried to make it very difficult for them to be like, no, you can't start. Like, obviously, I needed to make my mark in the team.
And while you're doing that, right, you're in the fire, right? You're a freshman, you're trying to play, trying to, prove yourself. What would you say, what was your biggest sacrifice that you had to make for you to be that player that you wanted to be while you were there?
I think oftentimes you would want to go out on the weekends. You would want to party. I mean, it was like college was that scene.
Absolutely,
Like,
especially Penn
Especially
State.
Penn
Especially
State,
Penn
all
yeah,
State.
right.
sports and
And-
drinking.
Yeah, and everything's just at your fingertips. You're like, you could easily derail, right? And I think having that blue collar mentality instilled from the very beginning when I showed up to training and preseason, luckily you kind of have in August when we showed up, and same with football, like you have this advantage of being at the school before any other students are there.
Summer session. Yeah.
So it's like, summer sessions or like winter. I don't know. It was nice to be with the team and make friends within the team before everyone else showed up. So it wasn't as foreign to me, like showing up to a brand new team in a school, and like it wasn't as overwhelming. I think I was like, okay, I'm settling in and I don't have to go to school just yet. We're just like training and we're like getting integrated into the team, and having a good understanding of each other and all the roles and responsibilities and expectations really that I was supposed to be doing. And so I think that like was really healthy for me to, get on with like a really, I don't know, like off to a great start.
Absolutely.
And I played that to my advantage. And then I just worked my butt off every day.
Because you don't fluke yourself to 2-time All-American. You know, that
And
just
two
don't
different
happen.
positions too. I was,
Look at that.
yeah. And and that was just like, so much fun for me. And then I knew where I wanted to be. I think that was key too. And I had the willingness to get there. I was like, listen, I want to be here, so I can't slack off. I can't go to parties every time that someone invites us, or we want to win a Big Ten championship. We would play Friday and Sundays. It's like 2 games in 1 week. And now thinking about 2 games in 1 weekend, I'm like, I need like a full week, 2 days of rest. At my age, I'm like, I can't even imagine doing that again. So that was like the focus. And then on top of that, student comes before athlete, so you have to really focus on your academics. And if you weren't focused on your academics, you wouldn't be able to play.
You're not on the field.
You can be, you couldn't be getting C's and D's and then show up to train. I mean, that we were like, that was a challenge too. So I was like, I can't go out. I can't, I want to be here. I want to be elite. I don't want to just be average and, excellent. So yeah, you just have to make those choices and sacrifice some nights out or, meeting with friends or whatever.
That's what the greats do. Elite perspective.
Was there ever a like welcome to college moment for you where you were like, yo, this is kind of tricky?
I think our first like frat party that we had, I was like, what? And then algebra. I was like, what is 8 a.m.?
It's like rocket science.
I was like, I have to adjust this.
Absolutely.
Like it wasn't for me. And I loved math. Like my brother and I would exchange, like I would do his math homework and he would do like my science or biology or whatever, like any like art, creative homework. But when I was in algebra, I was like, this is not, I don't even, it's not clicking.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that. So I was like, some of the courses, I was like, we have to adjust this and figure it out, because I was just not, it wasn't working.
Yeah. You went through one of the most like traumatic, unique situations when you broke your leg in 2006, and you had the near-death experience, and you had the blood clots in your leg and in your lungs, and the heart attacks, and that whole situation. Like, I can't even imagine that. Can you talk a little bit about that whole situation? Because as an athlete, or even as a human, to make it through something like that or go through something like that, it's like, it kind of sets you back, like, yo, like, what's going on? So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. It was probably one of the most difficult moments in my life because of the pulmonary embolism. But it was somewhat of a perfect storm after, it was 3 days before, I'll never forget, it was a Wednesday, and we were playing the men's club team. And we would play them consistently before like big time games, just to get some like, reps in, against them. And, to really like set the tone for the weekend game that we had to win against a really good team. And I remember just getting into a bad tackle with one of the players, and unfortunately I like felt my leg just like crumble. We just got twisted up, fell, and unfortunately I knew they knew right away. And this was like 3 days before the NCAA like first round game.
Crazy.
And it was devastating because we were ranked number 1 that year.
Damn.
And we also got like the best stadium or field in the country. Like it was just like a great year for women's soccer, and men's soccer too. But at that moment I was like, shit, like this sucks. Like I'm out. I'm out now of the tournament. And, you know, like I said before, it's such a risk. You never know if that's your last training or game or whatever, because you can never promise an athlete like they're going to return, you know, the same, if not better than where they were before the injury. So that was a rough go. And then I flew home to visit my parents. Well, we actually got to the Final Four that year, and I was on crutches, like on the sideline. We went to PKs against Portland, which was Megan Rapinoe's team, and Christine Sinclair. They played on. Sinclair, and unfortunately, we lost in PKs. But yeah, either way, like it was a really good year for us. I just couldn't participate in the most important part of the season, which was such a bummer. And mentally, that like can really bring you down.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then the pulmonary embolism came that January, because I kind of flew home. It was like I was taking medication at the time. Yeah. And then my surgery for my spiral fracture kind of was a perfect storm for it to happen. Yeah. And I remember coming back to my house on 432 West College Ave. Nuts. Anyway, long story short, I like spent, 6 months to 9 months getting back, like on blood thinners and having to go. And it just was like a whole thing. But luckily I got back for preseason that next year, my senior year. Yeah. And everything was golden from then on. So luckily through that process, I was so motivated to stay at school and to be around the team and be around athletes and be around that atmosphere that was so healthy for me to get back on my feet. Yeah. It took a while, but yeah, it definitely changed my perspective on playing and just life in general. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did that situation kind of teach you about yourself? Because you don't know about yourself until you're in a situation where it's like your back's against the wall. And that's, there's no greater situation where your back's against the wall than something like that. So what did you learn about yourself from that situation?
I mean, I just learned to take one day at a time and really, focus on kind of challenging myself on like the little steps and not think too much in the future about things that you can't control. So ultimately just control the controllables. And, if you, two things my dad always taught me that you can control is your work ethic and your attitude towards something. Absolutely. And I said, listen, like this is now my new job. Like, let's not even think about being an athlete and soccer player. Yeah. Let's just focus on like getting my leg back and getting like my breathing back and, just ease into it and get back to a point where I can just walk and jog again and just be without crutches. And I was like 13 weeks non-weight bearing too. So it was just like such a scene. Yeah. But yeah, just control the controllables and just take baby steps and just kind of set those small goals for yourself. And once you accomplish that small goal, then you're on to the next one. And then you build that confidence through that recovery process. So it was really difficult, but yeah, basically just that was my new 9-to-5 job, was just to get back out on my feet. And I had to just kind of push soccer aside and really focus on that.
It's a dope mindset, because some people would like just crumble, you know what I'm saying? Like to completely shift it, like, okay, this is what I got to focus on. Fire.
But I knew where I wanted to be, right? Like as an athlete, you're like, I want to be back on that field because that is what makes me happy. And that is what, I enjoy doing and what I love to do. So I'm willing to do anything to do that. Yeah. And I was forced somewhat to just like slow it down and like, kind of go through that process. Right. And mentally, it's so difficult, but with the proper resources that we had at school, I was really lucky to, have that support and it really picked me back up and on my feet.
And that's what something I wanted to ask you as well. Going through something so traumatic like that when you're 19.
Yeah. 18, 17, turning 18 that summer.
Sorry, 18, like going through something like that at such a young age. And you said always, I have that goal in the back of my mind. What were your thoughts and feelings when you first stepped back onto the pitch from bouncing back from that injury?
It was such a surreal feeling to put that jersey back on and think of that first day that I was in that hospital, like unsure if I was even going to make it because I had multiple blood clots in my lungs and my legs. I was just like, remembering how difficult it was to even take a breath, that I was then, having to perform and play and, survive 90 plus minutes, out on that field. Yeah, I can't really put into words. It was just all of that work that I put in felt so rewarding at the time.
Had to.
And you're just like, I'm so thankful that I had that mindset and that willingness to want to be back out here in that, because I love being a part of something bigger than myself. And so my teammates, just being out on the field to support my teammates and them supporting me through the whole thing. It was like a full circle moment. It was really surreal, and it was incredible to be back.
Well, proud of you. For
Thank
that.
you.
I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because
That's so sweet.
You are very inspiring.
Thank you.
Super.
So, after that, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but you graduated and then the same day you get shipped to Germany.
Yes.
Hello? Can I get 2 Whopper Junior meals? Damn, $18. Do y'all have like payment plans, like layaway, like anything like that? Y'all don't got that? Where I could pay like maybe $5 right now, like $10 in a week or something like that?
Layaway? At a fast food spot? Come on, bro. I've never seen or heard that in my life. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, like my pockets is hurting right now. I'm down bad.
What you need to do is get on Prize Picks, bro. That's what you need to do if you down bad like that.
Bro, I ain't messing with no Prize Picks, boy. What I look like?
Let's go, man. Another win. That's like my 6-1 all week. Prize Picks, man. I told Gio get on Prize Picks. It's the best one to use. It's another win. Let's go.
Man, there's no way this dude just hit on Prize Picks again. He's up like 5,000 on the week. Damn. Man, let me see how lucky I can get using this Prize Picks Jarvis keeps talking about. Shoot. Hopefully it can get me a little bit of money so I could get rich. I never been on a jet before I started using Prize Picks. Shoot, I couldn't afford anything before I started using Prize Picks. Hit a couple more on the passing yards, a little less on the rushing yards. Next thing you know, I'm on a jet. I'm trying to make sure everybody eats. Go to prizepicks.com/Mercury and use code Mercury to get a $100 deposit on your first deposit. That's a free $100. Again, go to prizepicks.com/Mercury and use code Mercury to get $100 on your first deposit. You never know what that $100 is going to turn into. It could turn into this. Holiday season, my mom sends me to the grocery store to get all these groceries. This is the last thing I want to do during the holidays. I'd rather spend some time with my family, chill and relax. I need to get HelloFresh. It's much faster, 15 minutes to make, and it comes right to your front door. I don't even have to stay in line and do all this shopping.
Man, fast food is so good, but it's so bad for you. I gotta get on that HelloFresh that Gio was talking about. It's way cheaper and way healthier for you. I'm about to call this dude right now.
If you don't want to deal with what we just went through, go to HelloFresh.com/secondwinfree and get free breakfast for life.
Hold on. Did you just hear what he said? For life. That's one breakfast item per box for every active subscription. Please, it's for free for the rest of your life.
Wait, hold on. I don't think they heard you. For life. That's for the duration of the time you alive. You're going to get free breakfast. Go to HelloFresh.com/secondwinfree and use code secondwinfree to get free breakfast for life.
Life.
Okay, so
I missed my dinner with my family.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yes.
So the same day she graduated, right? You get shipped to Germany to play for Frankfurt.
Well, no, this was national team. But then, that came shortly after.
Okay. So you're there.
Right.
You're also one of the 2 Americans to be a part of the UEFA Women's Women's Cup. So talk about can from college to that and being in Germany on your own. Full-time experience. Yeah. I think you're fluent, right?
Yes.
You can speak
it's like I'm losing a little bit over the years because I don't talk consistently, or speak consistently. But yeah.
Yeah. Talk about, that experience, being on your own now, done with college, and, you were part of a great team, a great situation.
Yeah. So that trip from like walking off the stage and getting my diploma, I went right to Germany, which led me to my dream job of being a part of a professional team in Germany, and then that led me to national team. It was that trip was so meaningful, even though I missed and sacrificed like that dinner with my family and like celebrating, my 4 years at school.
Wow.
I mean, my family was sending me pictures of like us at dinner, like cheers to you, and I'm like on the flight, right? It's nuts.
Crazy.
I was like, I'm sorry.
She hit him with the picture for the diploma, and
then I
that's
said,
crazy.
Yeah, you can miss me with the dinner. No, but that trip led me to make, Frankfurt the team there, because there were European coaches at that tournament that had seen me play.
And that's the best league, most competitive league at the time.
Yeah, it was at the time because we didn't have one here. So I was like, what am I going to do after? Once again, I was like, what am I going to do? Literally walked off the stage and I'm like, well, what am I going to do?
Right.
At least I'm with the U23 national team. Like then hopefully that'll get, because I knew I wanted to play on the full team. And so that, where you compete for Olympics, World Cup, all the things. And so that was like the next step. But I didn't know how to get there. And I knew playing with my guy friends from high school, pick up twice a week wasn't really going to get me there. So I said, I need to like take this chance and take this risk. So from that, tournament after graduation, it led me to make the team in Frankfurt. I literally brought like 2 bags. I just said bye to my family. I was like, listen, I got to go and put myself in a situation where this could lead me to the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I didn't want to stop. Like it was, I could have just easily gotten a 9 to 5, just like desk job right at home. But I was like, no, there's something in me that like feels like I can keep doing it.
Keep going. Yep.
And so then, I went over and I signed a 2-year deal. Like I went on trial for like 2 weeks and they're like, yeah, we want you to stay. But I show up and there's like, this was in 2007 where I think Germany just won the World Cup. And they all come home and there's like 7 German national team players on Frankfurt. And I was like, it's like Birgit Prinz and these are players who are like so incredible and like some of the best in the world or to even ever play the game of football. And I'm right there playing with them, like Steffi Jones and Silke Rottenberg, these amazing players. I was like, this is insane. I landed on this team. Like, what? Where am I?
Right.
And that's what helped me get to the next level because they were better than me. And I was like, I got to figure this out. I got to keep up. I mean, Birgit yelled at me so many days, like so often that I was almost in tears half the time. But then I grew to love it. It took me like 3 months to really get integrated because I was like, I want to go home. Like, this is like not
Were you
it.
ever like, fuck, like this is not what I expected. This is hard. I'm going to have to keep, like, you ever?
So hard.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't it. Like, I don't have this thick skin right now. I need to like grow up. I need to like roll my sleeves up again and get after it because like I'm like sinking right now and I need to swim. I need to figure it out because this is where I want to be. This is what's going to get me to the next level. So then I ended up signing for 2 years. I came home for Christmas and I was like, I actually want to go back. I love it.
Yeah.
And so then I go back and like we won the treble the first year and I was like, which is the German Cup, the Bundesliga title.
Yep.
And the Champions League, the UEFA Cup at the time, but it's now Champions League. And I was like, I guess I should retire. Like, this is pretty easy. Like, I just want all the things.
We won.
Like, what more do you need from me? No, but then I ended up signing a 5-year deal. I was like, this is great. There was no league here. It folded. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Twiddle my thumbs? I need to make the national team.
Yep.
So the only way to do that is to play week in and week out. Eventually, the national team coach saw me and then I got my first, offer to go into camp. And I was like, I need to make it once again difficult for them to not call me back in.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do everything I can. And I did. And they were like, we want you on the team. And I was like, this is so insane.
It's so crazy.
This is what I, was built for. This is what I worked so hard for. And now I can't lose that.
Right. I'm here.
So Germany helped that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, your career is so decorated, and you've had so many highs, and you had like a little bit of lows as well. But I want to talk about the 2015 and the 2019 run, like, because it seemed
crazy.
Like I remember watching, and that's like it's like the whole galaxy was tuned in to you guys. Like every single game, I would wherever I was at when y'all was about to play, I was running home, tuned in. Yeah. Screaming at the TV, like what was the synergy like with both of those teams? Like what was what was it like? Like just what was the experience?
I mean, incredible. Like, and people ask that all the time, and I'm like, you can't even put it into words, the emotion, because you work your entire life to be on the World Cup team and to win, at that tournament, at that level. Yeah. Because that's that soccer kid's dream. That is the best tournament in the world. It's the biggest tournament in the world. It is the pinnacle of our sport.
Right.
And so when you're there is like your opportunity. Like you made it. Like you literally made it. Whether that be Olympics or World Cup. World Cup's obviously considered, like just specifically for our sport. Yeah. So that's why it's, treated like a little bit, different and like a higher standard. So it was insane. Yeah. Like I was just, it was a dream
Cloud nine. I'll be on cloud
to
nine.
be on, yeah. And we made the final, we won. Like, it was just every game mattered. And it was every game you felt like I worked my entire life, every single day that I was out on the field for this game.
Yeah.
And then that game led to the next game. And then that game led to the next. So you're like, you got to give everything because this is it. You don't even know if we're ever going to be back, if we're going to, compete in the World Cup qualifiers and even make it. So this is your chance and you got to show up. And if you don't show up, then like you're out. So we all knew that. But we also tied it into, we need to win and be successful so that the federation will listen to us so that we get what we deserve.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
So that fight was alongside just the regular fight to win a championship. So then we were also fighting another battle, right, to really have people listen to us, and the fight for equality and all of that kind of came alongside and hand in hand.
Right.
So that's what also was motivation for us to win every game. We were like, all right, if we win, they're going to listen. So we have to win and we have to show up. And I mean, that's a whole nother story, but it was incredible. It was incredible. 2011 was also amazing because it was in Germany. So everything came full circle. I was like, oh, I'm in my second home. Like, this is nice. But we lost in the final. So then that was motivation, to win in 15. And then, 2019 was probably the best team I think the U.S. has had in a long time.
And that's why I wanted to ask you, just following up from what you said before, I think you're very unique because you play for 17 years. So your landscape of experience is very different, right? So you started 07, then you were just with Gotham, right? So talk to me about the landscape of women athletics, right? From what you've seen, how it has grown over the years. Are there things from your opinion that maybe need to change, have changed? Like, what is your perspective on that? Because you were able to be a part of so many great teams and see the evolution of women's football. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Soccer's fine too. It's grown tremendously. Like, obviously there's so many more fans now, support, money, sponsorships, people investing. That's where it needs to be and continue to go in order for us to be successful. But because there were, 3 leagues or 2 leagues that failed, that folded, that, weren't sustainable, I think we learned a lot from that moment. But U.S. Soccer had funded the NWSL at the very beginning. So that's kind of what catapulted it. And then obviously us, the players. Like, we have power in numbers. We were willing to see this through. We were willing to, make this everything that every young kid dreams of. And we've always dreamt of playing club soccer and in a league in our country. So we weren't going to let that slide. We were like, we all need to just stick to this, and we need to come together. We need to use our voice. We need to work with the organizations and the federations to really give us what we deserve and what this country deserves to have. And fight for women initially. And then, women's sports has been on the map now, and like female athletes are just crushing the game and
killing it.
So dope.
That trajectory really took so much work at like the grassroots level. Like, literally, I remember showing up to training the first year of the league, asking for a pair of socks.
Wow.
Like, struggling to, we would have to wash our own gear. And I'd be like, people have no idea. As professionals, I was like, I had better at Penn State. I had better, professionalism and equipment and just all the things, like all the categories. I was like, how is this better at college? And it's not. But it took so many years. Still now, the accommodations can be so much better. The playing surfaces, we still play, a couple fields are on turf. And it's like, I mean, we have to continue to fight. I mean, the work will never be done, but it's definitely gotten better. It's definitely, I think, all of us at the end of the day, no matter that we're, opponents and, not all play for the same team, even around the world, we know that we have power in numbers, and we know that we are, can fight for each other. Across all leagues, like women, I just know that we lean on each other. When something doesn't go right, we always fight for what's good and what we deserve. And so that's something that I think we all lean on each other. And I know at the end of the day, even though, I'm playing against you week in and week out, I know that you have my back. Like, off this field, we fight together for more, for better, and for, a better path for these younger generations to just have it a little bit easier along the way. And so that's what we're continuing to do. But it's definitely I was at the final And the accommodations at the final were wonderful.
Yeah.
Like the way that they treated us. Nike came in, obviously Adidas gave gifts. Like, the treatment it felt like a professional
setting.
It was like a Final Four type vibe. I was like, but finally you felt like, whoa, this is legit. Like I feel
this
is how it should be being treated. This is how it should be. Yeah, absolutely.
And there were obviously little bits and pieces that can be better, but yeah, to your point, like it's gotten to a place where it's exciting. We have more fans, we have more investment, and that's what we need continuously for this to be successful and for this to be the best league in the world. Which I think it's there now.
It's a great answer.
It's an amazing answer.
It's an amazing
that was a fire answer. It has to be acknowledged.
So much. I feel like
it had to be acknowledged. No, definitely.
You play with like some of the biggest stars in this sport. Like Hope Solo. You play with Rapinoe. Like you play with Alex Morgan. Like Julie Ertz. Like,
Abby Wambach.
Yeah, like Abby
yeah.
Wambach. Like who's someone you've played with that really helped your development? That you look back and you're like, she really helped me get better, or she really helped me learn this.
Yeah, there's a handful, obviously. But I would say Abby, Heather Metz, Christy Rampone, even Shannon Box. Like those were my older players when I was on the team. And then, even younger players, I just remember, leaning on, Pino and Carly and Alex even, and Becky. So those were like my age players who I really leaned on them, and they made me look so good on the field. Shout out. But it was definitely Abby, Christy Rampone, Boxy, and Mitz, where I showed up and they were willing to take me under their wing, and they knew how good I could be. And I think that they valued that, and they were like, listen, if we get the best out of her and we like lean in and we help her along, we hold her hand, and we then we're going to be more successful. And so I think that's how I tried to end my career along the way, just leaning into those younger players, because I knew how good they could be. And I knew that if they were going to be good, then we were going to be successful. So it's like, how can I get the best out of them and demand a lot, but because I know they're good enough, but yet be supportive. And I think that that's what they were to me. And so they kind of just really helped me along. They taught me how to be a pro, really, because it's not all about skill, right? And you show up and you're like, listen, you're not playing because the coach would always be like, you're not going to be playing because even though if you're better, you need to watch how she is as a professional, like how she carries herself, how she represents the team, how she represents herself, and like how she cares for the teammates. And I was like, and I never really understood it until I was told that. Because, younger players walk in and they're like, oh, I should be playing, I should be starting because I'm the best of the best wherever I just came from. But that doesn't mean that you have all the qualities. Just because you're technically good and you're more skillful doesn't mean you're a pro automatically. And so I think I needed to learn that along the way. And once I learned that, which I learned it pretty quickly because I wanted to play, I was like, yo, teach me all the things. I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was key for me. And that's what they did. And I was, and I still am so appreciative, because I can call any of those players and teammates and now friends any day of the week, and they would pick up the phone and help.
That's dope, because I be trying to call Jarvis sometimes and he don't pick up the phone.
No, I do.
And it kind of pisses me off. So it's like,
don't
it's
believe
cool
that.
Even 3 a.m.
Yeah,
you call me anytime. He knows my phone always up.
Yeah, you're like,
someone
always
who has actual friends who pick up the phone for them.
So I would just being around you, right, and just being me hearing these things you're saying in your aura. Just you're so mentally tough, right? So you've dealt with so many injuries, pre-college and during your career, right? So your ACL, MCL, concussions, severe concussions, broke your leg. What is your why? Like, what keeps you going? Even when you were professional, you had all accolades and, still got hurt. Like, what made you just want to keep coming back?
It's pretty simple for me. Well, 2 things. I love being a part of something bigger than myself. And being a part of team sport, that is like, I don't know, it gives me a spark. Like, it just is enjoyable to be out there playing with my teammates and playing this silly game. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's just so enjoyable. And then 2, probably more importantly, I'm addicted to winning. That's as simple as it gets. Like, I am so addicted to winning. That's why it's so difficult to retire. But in anything that I do, like, I want to be elite. I don't just want to be average or excellent. Like I am always striving to be the best. And I think that's why this sport was really healthy for me.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be a struggle to kind of navigate that transition. I got to find something else to be addicted to. But over the years, I just want to win. And now, I mean, I can't say I'm hanging any medals. Like it's just that doesn't matter to me. Like it's just winning with other people who have the same passion for the same sport. And it drives me.
I love that.
That's simple.
Yeah,
as simple as I can explain it.
I love that.
That's fire.
Mm.
Talk about winning the championship with Gotham right before, like, I know your coach was saying, this isn't Allie's last game.
Not
Like,
Allie Krieger's last. It was like three games in a
last
row.
game, and like, y'all end up winning the chip. Like, talk about that run. Like, that's the typical storybook ending Disney movie when like it's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. Talk about that.
Insane. Like it was a dream come true. It was so rewarding. I manifested that. And it might sound crazy, but like I just manifest things in my life that I want to actually see through and happen. And recently it's been like a lot that's been consistently happening when I like actually speak it into existence. So
important.
Yeah. And so I was obviously addicted to winning, but at the beginning of the year, I was like, I am going to give everything because it's obviously my last. I just want to give these players and this organization everything I have, but also myself and my family. I want to fight because now I know that I can just enjoy, have fun, because it is, every game is like one less, leading to the final. But those games that we had, squeaking into the playoffs.
Yeah.
At my retirement game, we had to tie. We couldn't allow one more goal because we would have been out against Orlando.
Yeah.
So we squeaked in. And then we went to North Carolina and we were like, listen, like we are the best team in the league. We just have to now, like, this is our chance. Like if we lose, we're done. So like you got to give everything. Like how much do you all want it? Mm-hmm. And so we work all of that like in 8-9 months, right? You work your butt off to get to that moment. And I'm like, we didn't come this far just to come this far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're here now.
So like we're here. We might as well win.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody was just like raring to go. And obviously like we are following you and we are ready and like let's do this. And so that was like extra motivation on top of just getting there and wanting to win. We beat North Carolina and then we're like, holy shit, like this is like we're in the semi.
Yep.
This is actually
We're here.
Okay, we're keeping it going. And then my coach was like, this is not Allie's last game. And then we went to Portland, which is the toughest place to play because they have 22,000 fans. Yeah. You're playing on turf. It's like the atmosphere is crazy. They create such a cool soccer like city and town and all the things. Like you love playing there, but you hate it.
You hate it.
Because
everyone's against you. Yeah.
You're rarely successful.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, like let's just do it. Let's bring it. We're like the underdog here. Like we're gonna show them why we deserve to be here and how good we can be. We end up like. I remember going into the second 15-minute overtime. I was like, we're not going to PKs. Like, I just refuse. Like, this is just, like, it's so nerve-wracking. Like, we have to finish this. I remember talking to the team, and I was like, we need to do everything. I don't care what it takes. Like, you throw your body, you, like, claw, you scratch, you fight. Because we can't go into PKs. We're not. Like, I refuse. Yeah. And, like, all of us were like, yeah, and so we go out there, and then one of our subs, Katie Stengel, who's, like, insane. I mean, we don't really, I shouldn't say subs, like, game changers. Because anyone on our team can start. It's just, like, it's just everyone's the coach's choice, right? It's like, you can't control that. But she comes in and she rips the shot, like just gets one chance, just fucking rips it in the back of the net. It was probably the goal of the year.
Yeah.
Insane. We go crazy. And there's like 5 minutes left. I'm like, come on. We gotta keep
Let's
like,
go.
We're like, like keep it, do whatever you can. Just kick it out. I don't care where it goes. But like 5 minutes. Like you're just
hold it
like,
together. Like,
yeah. And then we win. And I'm like, holy shit. And they had like so many opportunities too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's hard for me as a defender to say that. I'm like, was I not doing my job? But they had so many opportunities too to really like tie it or close the game out. And I was like, everything happens for a reason. Like they just weren't on. And it was our game to take. Go to San Diego for the final. I'm like, this is crazy. Because at the beginning of the year, you think like, oh yeah, we're gonna like that's our goal, right? Every team's goal. Make it to the final, make it to the final. But it was like slowly happening.
Manifestation.
And I was like, we might as well.
Yeah, we might as well win this shit.
Like, what the hell?
We might as well win this. That's a great way to go out. That's a great way to go out too.
And then
on top.
That whole game, it was such a build up, and playing against another, one of the best teams in the league. It was just like a storybook ending.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
One of our stable questions that we always ask, it could be a one word or phrase, but if you had to describe your life in one word or phrase, what would you say and why?
But you can't use adversity because mad people be using
and
adversity.
it's mad common. It's easy.
No,
You could think one word or phrase to describe your life in one word and why.
I would say humbling.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, I signed up to play football, right? I signed up to play soccer, and I was addicted to winning, and I'm so driven to be successful. And that's with everything I do. But you don't always sign up for all of the other things that come along with it, right? You sign up for the sport.
Yeah.
But then as you go through, you start building your brand, and you start getting noticed and becoming a public figure. And then all these other responsibilities come into play. And I just feel like over time, I never allowed that to kind of get to my head. And I tried to continue to be that same human being that I was and from the very beginning, because that's the person at the end of the day that you're going to live with, because football doesn't last forever. And then the fame doesn't last forever. And the relevancy doesn't last forever. And all the things that come along with it. So I tried to be consistent in who I am to my core. And understand myself on a deep level, no matter how many changes and adjustments are to my life. I still want to be that kind, hardworking, empathetic, compassionate human being. And I tried to just do that along the way, but it's very difficult when you're put in these, environments and cultures and situations where, sometimes, you change. And so I tried to not allow that to really seep in too much. And I think it's really important to continue to have those deep conversations with your friends and family, but also fans and supporters, and make those connections, because people need people at the end of the day. And no one job is better than the other. And ultimately, I think that's what I tried to do. And so I think, humbling is good, because out of all the championships I've won or all the accolades I get, it's at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And
that's part of your success.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You're disciplined. You always kept,
that's also
you kept the main thing the main thing.
Good,
the same key factors that made you who you were at the beginning, you held it to that.
Yeah. And I just hope I, continue to be that, because I want my kids to see that too.
Absolutely.
Fire. The last question that we always ask, this show is called The Second Win, right? So what advice do you have for anyone trying to catch their second win, or someone that might want to be the next you know, or someone that's just going through something in life that they need to overcome? What advice can you give them?
Yeah, I think, control the controllables. I also think don't be afraid to take that risk, because that risk led me to my dream job. So don't be afraid to, make yourself uncomfortable, because that's when you grow as a human being the most.
Right.
And then just try to do what you love to do, because if you love to do it, you're going to have fun, and you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to bring your best.
Yeah. Simple as that. Man,
that's amazing.
No, some of those answers were crazy.
The addicted to winning one. That's so.
You're not addicted.
I'm
to
addicted.
winning,
I'm addicted to winning.
You be losing all
I'm
the time.
addicted to
I
winning.
you in Madden all the time.
Yeah,
you're not addicted. To
but guess what? Winners find a way to win.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Whatever. Look, Ali.
Listen, let's go out in the yard. And
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, are you ready?
No, for real.
I have a couple balls.
I'll go
over
back there.
Oh no, hey, we want to tell you, man.
Thank you.
We appreciate you getting
so
on the
much.
show. We really, really appreciate it. A lot of these answers hit
Thank
me
you.
deep, so I know they gonna hit y'all deep. Second Win
Absolutely.
family, go ahead and like,
Comment,
subscribe. Tell who you need to tell.
Tell everyone.
Tell your pet fish.
Long distant relative, everybody.
Yeah, whoever you need to
Tell them.
Tune in.
Yes.
We got it's Ali Krieger.
Shout it from the rooftops.
Yes.
Listen, I'm gonna be doing it. You need to be doing it. Let's get it going.
Come on,
From the
let's get it-
rooftops.
Yes,
the
sir.
legendary Ali Krieger's on the show. Second Win family
Bye.
out.
Thank
Gang, love.
Thank you.